What is good, YouTube? We are back with our 32 user franchise, which means every single team is controlled by a user. Today we have year 5 week 9, and it is our bye week. And for anyone new, during our bye week we handle resigning players, we handle all the upgrades we have so far, we touch on season stats, and I'm even going to cover the NFC East standings. So let's hop into it. It looks like we only have 4 players with upgrades after 8 weeks, which is actually pretty sad. I mean, but to be fair, we played pretty bad, but we're going to start off with Timmy Urban and his 1 upgrade. Timmy is 80 overall, and we're actually going to hit Field General today. I think you can get better abilities and stuff like that with Field General. That gets him up to 82 overall. That's big time. +1 throw accuracy deep, +2 throw accuracy mid, and +1 throw under pressure. I think that's big time, going up +2 overalls. Next up, we have our boy Cassidy Queen, our middle linebacker, and we're going to do pass coverage on him, and we're going to see if we can get him closer to one of those KOs. I know it's still going to be a minute. I think you have to have 85 pass coverage to get it, so we're not there yet. If we look at this, yeah, he's only at 80, so we're not going to be able to get a KO yet, but we're getting closer. Cameron Kramer's up next, our rookie, who's been out actually 3 weeks so far this season. He's 72 overall. We're going to hit him, well, he's -1 with morale, considering he's played in the games we've lost, but we're going to hit Run Stopper, and that gets him up in overall, and with it being X Factor, I'm expecting him to be upgrading pretty fast. +2 block shed, +3 finesse moves, +2 power moves. I think that's a pretty good one. Lastly, we got Jalen Hickman, and yes, he got benched. He is no longer our starting free safety after winning Defensive Player of the Year, but we're going to hit zone. He just hasn't progressed like we thought he would. He went up in overall. He got +2 zone coverage, and we're going to hold him around as a backup. He's 6'3", and if maybe if someone gets hurt, he's ready to step back in. It's time to handle re-signing players, and I think there's something important to note is that there's probably only going to be 2 more full seasons after this league, so we can push some salary cap out a little bit. We got to be smart about how we use that. If you don't know why, by that time we'll be getting ready for the next Madden, and I'll be taking on a new team to try to build up, so we can actually use that to our advantage if we handle this the right way. First up, we got CeeDee Lamb. So I know this sounds crazy, but we're going to offer him a 7-year deal, $20 million in salary, $15 million in bonus, and by us adding these extra years for years that their franchise won't exist, it saves us about $12 million. So I'm assuming he's going to accept it. Why would he not want a 7-year deal at 29 years old? That's a good offer. Yes, sir. So yes, we are kind of cheating the system, and we're taking advantage that there's only 2.5 more seasons left, but that's just the reality of it, Next up, we got Trayvon Diggs. So we're going to do the same thing for him. So for Trayvon, it actually didn't make that much of a difference. We're going to pay him 2 years, and it's going to be about $20 million a year. So yes, that's a lot of money, but he's got X Factor, he's got KOs. It's well worth it, and I'm interested. Oh, and he's already pissed off. I don't like that. So we're going to have to try to give him more money when we get back next week. Deron Bland, 29 years old, 89 overall. It looks like he wants a lot of money in a long year deal here. So we did move Deron Bland to strong safety in this offseason, and I'm actually going to give him a neutral offer. I could save a little bit of money if I extended it, but I don't think I'm going to want to do that because I might want to cut him sooner if he drops a lot in speed or anything like that. So we're going to send him a neutral offer, and we're going to see what happens. And he signed. Let's go, Bland. Cassidy Queen, our middle linebacker, 6'1", 25 years old, 80 overall, but he has no interest in re-signing, which is really scary. Now, with him not being interested at all, we are going to offer him a very player-friendly deal, and I'm assuming he's going to accept. I don't think this game doesn't let him not accept if you offer that. So we didn't like that you didn't want to be here, Cassidy. I need you to lock in. We just won a Super Bowl. You were a big part of that, and I need you to I want you committed to be here. Tyler Guyton, 85 overall, 26 years old, 6'7", just a dog. Now, this was a guy that it made sense to spread out the cap, so I made it 7 years. It's still $20 million. It's actually over $20 million a year, which is just insane, but it does save us a little cap in these next few years, so we're going to offer him, and he signed with us. Let's go. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm still debating if that was worth it. $20 million a year for an 80 overall or an 85 overall right tackle. I don't know how I feel about that. Darren Lawton, the savior of this franchise, 26 years old, 5'8", 83 overall. He has not progressed like I thought he would, but he has still been contributing every single year. I did go player friendly, and I did extend the years out to 7 years, so it's a little over $5 million a year. We're going to offer him that contract. The offer is perfect. I'm very glad to have Darren. Regardless how much he contributes, he's a big part of our core, and hey, he's a big locker room presence. Max Yancey, 5'10", 26 years old, 78 overall. We expected a lot more from him when we drafted him, but I'm just in shock with the amount of money he wants. Like, look at this. I'm doing 7 years for about $4 million a pop. I feel like he's worth way more than that, especially at the cornerback position. But I mean, if the game's gonna let me get away with it, still, Yancey, I'm so glad to have you. Even though you're your interest in me wasn't great, it's okay. I'm gonna force you to love me. Okay, we're down to the last few. We got Montez Sweat. We just signed him in free agency, and he hasn't been doing as much as I'd wanted. But he only wanted a 1-year deal for $12 million. So, well, he wasn't going to accept that. We're going to go player friendly, 2 years, and maybe I just let this ride. With him not contributing as much as I want, I think I'm going to withdraw the offer, and we're just going to see if there's another player out there in free agency that can beat him. Jalen Hickman, he did have an upgrade earlier this episode, and you know what? Dude, I love this dog. I'm gonna admit it, dude. I just love Jalen Hickman. He's 26 years old. He's 6'3". Yes, we had to move him to the bench. He's not a starter, but I want to have him around. It's not like it's gonna be a lot of money here. 4 years. I'm gonna go 7-year deal. I'm gonna give him. Actually, let's crank it down a little bit. Okay, I love you, Jalen, but not that much. Let's offer you about 2.5 a year for 7 years, and hey, that's a lot for you. You're a backup player getting paid a lot. I need you to be ready if your number gets called. Now, this is a hard decision. D-Law and Micah have been the strongest defensive line I could have ever asked for these first 5 years. But he's getting old, man. He's 36 years old, and we drafted an X-Factor defensive tackle who is now our starter. So I'm going to withdraw the offer, and if he doesn't retire and he's in free agency, we might try to make another offer on him. Edward Judge is who we drafted with Darren, and we thought we might have a 2 running back combo, but it just hasn't worked out like that. Darren is just far superior, and I like Edward, but we're going to withdraw the offer. There's going to be other people in free agency. I don't want to waste my money on stuff like that right now. And besides that, we've actually withdrew our offer on everyone else. So Nick McPherson, Tyrell Brooks, Kareem Forbes, Daniel Bonham, Ladarius Dunbar, Addison Truman, and then Cameron Schaefer, we didn't, but he's going to have a player option at the end of this year. But I mean, that's just the reality of it, man. There's people that come, there's people that go, and we're gonna have to try to handle these positions and really the draft, so we can get locked in people on small contracts. I did want to touch on season stats of just the Cowboys, and obviously we got Timmy Urban, who's having a down year. He won the Super Bowl and he got in trouble for partying, but he's got 18 TDs and 9 picks, which is just not good enough. A 60% completion percentage, and you know what? We had to bench him for a quarter, and Jonathan Harrison stepped in, and you know, you love that picture up there. I know you do. So I need him to step it up, especially going into this with us only being 4-4. Timmy, these stats are just not even close to good enough. Rushing is obviously always the Darren Lawton and Timmy Urban show, and I'm actually impressed with Darren. He's averaged almost 5 yards a carry. He's got 6 TDs. I think I'm going to start using him a lot more. It's basically proven at this point. When I actually use him, I win games at a much higher rate than when I don't. So he's going to be getting carries. Timmy, I need you to continue to be aggressive on the ground. He's got the second best carrying in the entire league, only behind Lamar Jackson. So I'm not as scared of him fumbling. Obviously, he's going to fumble sometimes, but I mean, that's a big weapon for him, is being able to run on the ground. And with him struggling in passing, I need this running game to continue. Receiving, Mitch Clements has actually continued his strong career. He's already at 700 yards this year with only 8 games played. Brandon Williams is at 637. CD's down to 300, but we really just use him in big moments. Darren's contributing on the ground, and then our rookie wide receiver only has 200 yards, and you know, that's okay. I'm okay with that. We have him on this field in case they press, in case they do stuff. We got the deep bomb threat. We got Mitch Clements, and so he's going to have his moment to shine. It's just not yet. Defensively, we've actually started to turn it around. Micah Parsons is struggling in sacks, but that's because he missed basically 4 games with a broken collarbone. I think that's what his injury was. D-Law's kind of behind him, and Marquez Sweat's just not doing as good as I thought he would. Picks, we actually have Damian Clark. 5 interceptions, which is absolutely insane. Jerron Bland's got 4. Trayvon Diggs has got 4. We got a few people at 3, and even our rookie, Bob Gray's got 3 too, and I like to see that. Lastly, to end the episode, I wanted to touch on the NFC East. I've won it for the first 4 seasons, and I've had some close calls, but this year's just looking extra scary with me at 4-4, tied with the Eagles. The Giants is 1 game above us, and then the Commanders is also a game above us. So it's just, man, it's scary right now. We've got to lock it in. We've got to figure out a way to finish this strong. The last thing I want to hear is any of these guys chirping at me that they finally beat me in a division. So hey, we're going to put it on the back of Darren Lawton. Timmy, your partying days have got to be over. We need you to turn it around. I believe you will. All these Cowboy fans out there believe you will as well. But until then, our next game is actually against the Bengals, who we just played in the Super Bowl, so you know that's going to be a crazy game. You're going to want to check it out. But until then, it's Afflicting, and I'm out. Peace.